In an attempt to improve the student experience at McDaniel, we explore the quality of living conditions on campus. During our exploration, we interviewed several students to uncover their opinions of the housing on campus. Through students' opinions, we discovered that the most problematic aspect of the housing at McDaniel is the housing lottery process. Most students find that the process is unfair and difficult to understand. We will suggest a way to change this process. It has become alarmingly real that the future of a student's personal space at McDaniel depends on a number in a bag.
You have juniors who have to end up living in McDaniel Hall, which, it's barely an upgrade from Rouser.
Depending on what your number was depending on if we could live together.
I don't understand how that point system goes. Just because there's a couple seniors, these sophomores are able to get first dibs over us juniors. Makes no sense.
Students like Gus Foley expressed their frustration with the housing process in a variety of situations.
I studied abroad last semester, so I had to fill out a proxy form and everything for my roommate to do it. And even though I filled out all the forms way ahead of time, and we talked to him and he talked to people, it was still really hard for him to go about selecting because it seemed that the people who were running the lottery for specific buildings didn't exactly know how to handle it that well. Also, this recent year, it was really hard for juniors, even though if they had a lot of seniors, to get Gardens or North Village, which was kind of unfair in a way.
It's not just students living overseas that have concerns with the housing process. Transfer students who have already been involved in more efficient housing selection processes at other schools are often disappointed with McDaniel's housing process.
As far as the lottery process goes, at Georgia it's based on how many credit hours you've completed and your GPA. At Georgia, I feel like it's a more systematic way where it goes by credit hours, but then you also have the contributing factor of averaging your GPA in there, so then it gives you more of an incentive, I guess, to work hard. But I feel like it's more of an organized way to go about housing.
Many students think that their chances of receiving good quality housing are based on luck.
In my opinion, the biggest problem with McDaniel's housing is the lack of quality places to live on campus. Sure, Gardens and North Village are really nice, but other than that, you better luck out and get Blanche or you're going to be living in someplace crappy, I know I personally was very lucky, I wouldn't say lucky, more skilled, and was able to secure quality housing for all 4 of my years. However, there are people who aren't so lucky. You have juniors who have to end up living in McDaniel Hall, which, it's barely an upgrade from Rouser, to be honest. And I just think that's the biggest problem with McDaniel's housing.
So is it based on luck? Either way, many students had their life at McDaniel downgraded by the process. Separating sorority and fraternity members from each other is just one negative side effect of the process.
Having the housing lottery and not being able to have a floor or a space where all of us could live together, that's really hard because living together is a big part of being in any club. I feel like clubs should be able to live together and should have a better selection of where they can live. And maybe explaining how the housing lottery works. I know for freshman year, going into their sophomore year, they're really confused about the housing lottery. They have no idea how it works. I think that they should maybe have a seminar or something for freshman students close to the end of the year, or for transfer students too, just so people understand how the housing lottery works, because it's very confusing and it's very deceiving.
That is a good idea. We've polled students and decided that the process is confusing and is not well communicated to the students. For future semesters, we propose that there will be a mandatory orientation session that will completely explain the process to students. We agree with Devin.
After interviewing several students and hearing their touching testimonies, it's obvious that not all dorms are created equal, and that the selection process to live in higher quality dorms needs to be changed. Based on the student suggestions we obtained and our knowledge of the current process, we have devised suggestions for a new system that will be fair and efficient. Our idea is to build the process on a new point-based system. The students with the highest scores will get the first pick in their housing. In this system, seniors will get 4 points, juniors will get 3 points, and sophomores will receive 2 points. We've also based scoring on grades. Students with a 4.0 GPA will receive 3 points. Students with a GPA between 3 and 4.0 will receive 2 points. and students with a GPA between 2 and 3.0 will receive 1 point. Student behavior is also included in the system. For each disciplinary write-up a student receives, he or she will lose half a point from their total score. Also within this plan, sororities and fraternities will be assigned housing. This will allow the members to live together. However, they will still be held to a standard of grades and a standard of behavior. Those who fall below the standards with either their behavior or grades will be placed on probation and will possibly lose their spot in the house in the upcoming semester. This proposed solution is the right answer because it will make the student population not only happier, but also more grade conscious and behavior conscious. Thank you.